out. Wilhauk Beef Jerky is the real MVP.
When it comes to tailgate snacks, there's only one unanimous pick.
Wilhauk Beef Jerky.
No barbecue required. Wilhauk is ready to eat before we head to our seats.
Bring it to your next football tailgate.
Wilhauk Beef Jerky. Because you don't win games with salad. Only available in Leduc.
Want to invest in Alberta's workforce, fill your talent pipeline, and get funding? Careers, the next generation connects employers with motivated, pre-vetted youth through funded internships. Easy, impactful, and risk-free.
When you work with a group like Careers who have experience in that area, they can demystify and navigate all the complex steps and stakeholders that have to be involved.
Visit careersnextgen.ca today.
Hey there, I'm in the Fountain Tire sidecar, making a list of the things I'm doing this spring. 1. Saving you money, with up to 20% off select tires until June 13th. 2. Water skiing, tricky in a sidecar, but fun. And 3. Saving you more money, with mail-in rebates of up to $100 off a set of 4 select tires and $50 off a $150 service with the purchase of 4 select tires. Oh, that's 4 things. Oh well, restrictions apply. Book online at fountaintire.com. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together, Canada.
I'm good to go. With Mortgages to Go, you'll be good to go. MortgagesToGo.ca says yes when the banks say no. That's why Alberta has trusted Mortgages to Go for over 23 years. If you need cash and have equity in your home, you're approved instantly, guaranteed. Call 1-888-888-5998. That's 1-888-888-5998. With Mortgages to Go, you'll say, I'm good to go.
From the first pitch to the final out, catch Toronto Blue Jays baseball games live right here. Don't miss a moment of Blue Jays baseball this season. Sports 1440 is proud to be the home of Blue Jays baseball.
Summit Restaurant, located in the heart of the Silent Ice Center and just minutes from South Edmonton Common. Summit is your destination for exceptional house-made pizza, delicious entrees, and expertly crafted cocktails. Cheers. Experience the perfect blend of flavor and ambiance in a modern setting. Join us for a straightforward yet elevated dining experience where our commitment to quality speaks to every bite and sip. Make Summit Restaurant your next night on the town.
New at Papa John's, the spinach Alfredo chicken tomato pizza. Say it with me now. Spinach Alfredo sauce, grilled chicken, fresh Roma tomatoes, all on our fresh, never frozen pizza dough. 4 favorites, 1 pizza. So let's run it back. The spinach Alfredo chicken tomato pizza. Right now, a large for just $18.99. Delivery or carry-out. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
Why should you drive a Subaru? How about durability, style, and an excellent customer experience from the moment you step into the showroom? And how about accolades, including awards for numerous 2026 Subaru models from both AutoTrader and JD Power? But don't just take my word for it. Take a test drive and you'll see why the Subaru name is recognized and renowned for quality. To learn more, visit Subaru.ca. Welcome to Uncommon. Welcome to Subaru.
Legacy Heating and Cooling jingle auditions take 1 for Gene Principe. Hey, thanks for being on time.
I'm always punctual. Now, how about some cool beats while I drop the heat?
Ready when you are.
Tall legacy, tall legacy.
Nice.
Boom! I'm a musical genius.
Legacy's going to love this for AC season.
What's not to love with no interest and no Principe payments for 1 year?
Are you always like this?
Yep. Unlike Legacy, I never know when to cool it.
Legacy Heating and Cooling.
I'm Rick Showers from Noble RV, and you'll notice something different about our store compared to the new RV stores. Our lot is full, bursting at the seams with quality used RVs for you to see. The new RV stores? Well, their stuff is trickling in. For the most part, they're taking orders for trailers and motorhomes to be delivered at some future date.
At Noble, you can take yours home right away. Right, Rick?
That's right, Bob. Every RV on our lot is ready to go. Bring your truck and you can take it home with you. You could be enjoying the great outdoors this weekend if you want. And because every RV on our lot is one of a kind, it's worth it to take a look around. It's not like we have 20 of the exact same model.
That's what the new RV stores look like.
Not here, Bob. Every single one is different. The perfect used RV for your family is probably on our lot already. Why not pick it up before someone else does?
And that's Noble.
NobleRV.ca.
You need the lowdown? It's with Lowetide right now on Sports 1440.
Presented by Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
Welcome to the Lowdown. Today's show, McDavid for the heart. The voters have McDavid fatigue. When will the loud noises arrive? We're getting closer. Who's gone and who's coming in? Don't know. Is anyone safe? Think so, but you never know. What I do know is I miss Glenn Sather. We'll talk about that and more today. The Lowdown is brought to you by Wolf GMC Buick. Family-owned, community-driven. We're making it easy. Visit wolfgmcbuick.com. Okay, very busy show. Steve Lansky will be our headliner of the day at 1 o'clock. We are live on YouTube and Sports 1440 Radio, online at iHeartRadio, sports1440.ca, Radio Player Canada. After the show, we are housed on Apple and Spotify podcasts, and we thank you for tuning in. We really do. Twitter at Lowetide, at Declan Krueger, at JFenwick04. Text or call us at 833-401-1440. That's 833-401-1440. I did mention Steve Lansky from Inside the podcast is going to be joining us at 1 o'clock today. And he will be brought to you by Faber. Okay, it's time for the introductions. He's our show expert on basketball, baseball, and hockey, plus movies, but brings very little to our culinary segments, and we've noticed. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Josh Fenwick. Josh Fenwick, everybody.
I mean, I can start bringing more to the culinary segments if you'd like.
Well, your dad's a great cook.
Dad's a great cook. I think I've picked up a thing or two from him.
What do you use? You know, you've made a piece of chicken.
Sure.
And what would your seasoning be?
I'm pretty similar. Garlic powder, onion powder, salt, pepper, and a little cayenne.
Right. And a little bit too much pepper?
No, not enough pepper, probably. I just like, pepper doesn't really add anything for me. That's why I add the cayenne in there.
Then we will not talk to you about culinary items if you don't believe in pepper.
It's not that I don't believe in pepper.
His deviated septum gets more airtime than Josh. He's going to say something about me calling Josh the show's basketball expert. And he is the enemy of big oatmeal. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Declan Krueger. Declan Krueger, everybody.
I actually don't have a problem with that, but I do have a pushback from your intro.
Yes?
I don't think there's McDavid fatigue with the voting. Truthfully, I don't think, now he's obviously the best player in the world, not breaking any news. I don't think there's 1 year he didn't get the heart where he should have. Truthfully, like if you go back and look, I don't think there's one. So we'll see what happens this year, but
well, again, this is you announcing yourself as the arbiter and the fairest of all. And when you make sweeping statements like that, you have to expect some pushback. For instance, McDavid hasn't won an award since 2023. Are you saying he hasn't been any good since 2023?
No, I'm not saying that
he's had wonderful years.
Oh, he's been incredible, but I don't think he's deserved it. I don't think
went
he
to the
deserved
finals twice.
Well, it's a regular season award. I don't
132 points in 24.
Yeah, I mean, McKinnon had 140 and Cooch had 144. He also had 100 assists. And then the year after, last year, like there was no way he was going to win it last year. He missed games. He only had 100, not only, but he had 100 points. He finished 10th in voting.
Okay.
Leon should have been MVP last year, by the way.
I have the last 10 years of him finishing in the MVP voting, if you'd like. So when he was 20, he won. Then he finished 5th. Then he was a finalist. Then he finished 5th, then MVP, then finalist, then MVP, then MVP finalist. Then last year finished 10th, and this year he's MVP finalist. I think he's going to win.
No, he won't. It'll be McKinnon.
It's going to be Kucherov.
No, it'll be McKinnon. All right, we're going to talk about something else, but we'll get back to that, I promise, okay? I said in the intro I missed Glenn Sather. And not that Stan Bowman, isn't a bona fide, qualified general manager. But when a general manager takes a job, there has to be a few things. There has to be clarity and an awareness of what the roster needs and what they shouldn't be sending away. There has to be aggressiveness. You need to make some moves, and you need to make them quickly. And I think that you need to prove that you're smarter than the other guy. Sather did it constantly. He didn't win every deal. But when there was a roster weakness on this team, when there was a feeling like, geez, Dave Semenko isn't quite the deterrent that he used to be, we better get, a bunch of other guys, and they did. McClellan, McSorley, on it went. I think that the Edmonton Oilers have gotten themselves to a spot with Stan Bowman that the weaknesses and the things that they have to address are so large that it's going to cost them this summer. They don't have a lot of money. I looked at free agents in the Athletic today, and the guys that they could, afford, like Alec Tuck, they'd have to move somebody. Like Zach Hyman's contract eases a little bit in terms of no movement, but I don't think they're going to move him. Hyman is a very productive player and a big part of this team. So how do they get a guy like Tuck? I don't know that they can, because Tuck is going to cost $11 million. Oilers don't have that kind of room to wheel unless they make a move. And that brings us to Darnell Nurse. And, the certainty of him moving has never been there. And my suspicion is that it'll be next year, when his contract eases, as it is with Hyman this year, that you'll see a move. So with that said, Glenn Sather, the one thing that he did late in the 80s that I think was key for this team, and they were at a crossroads when he did it, was he announced John Muckler as the head coach. And Stan Bowman has made a lot of moves. Some have worked very well. Like, let's be honest here, the Podkolzin move, the Emberson move, the move to pay right at the beginning of the year was kind of lucky, but he got Roslovic and he signed him and he played well. I continue to like he didn't make the Savoy trade, but they brought him along. And I like the Ike Howard trade. I hope they don't deal him this summer. So there's been some moves, and even some of the trades that made it at the deadline. Wallman is a downbeat right now, but he's still a hell of a player. And certainly Connor Murphy. And I think the others who came at the deadline this year, including Colton Dock and Jason Dickinson, have worked out. So it's not like he's the worst general manager in the world, as you will read online. But also, he's at a point now where he's made a lot of moves. There's not a lot of cap room. They're probably going to try to bring back Murphy and I hope Ingram, but, Kasperi Kapanen and Dickinson, those four may be coming back, or three of the four. Not going to be a lot of room left. What can he do? Well, one of the things they may be contemplating is a change in coach. And as you'll recall, Stan Bowman did not hire Chris Knobloch. I still believe he'll be here in the fall. That's what I believe. But I don't have any proof of that. So then we start checking down to who the Edmonton Oilers might bring in. And who have we talked about a lot this week, Josh?
We're talking about coaches right now?
Yeah.
Bruce Cassidy.
Yeah, Bruce Cassidy. Now, I would go, if I'm going to move off of Chris Knobloch, and I'm not saying I would, but if I was going to move off of him, I would want Bruce Cassidy. But if you don't want Bruce Cassidy, who's out there? Would you be shocked to your shoes if Jay Woodcroft walked back in?
Yes.
Who else would you be shocked to your shoes if they walked in?
Daryl Sutter.
Oh, man. I love Daryl
You know
Sutter.
how funny that would be, though?
I love Daryl
That
Sutter.
would be so funny, because he's
I
done
love him.
how many stints with the Flames now? 3? And then all of a sudden he just comes in and starts coaching the Oilers.
Look, you will never hear me say a negative thing about Daryl Sutter. I believe that man is brilliant.
I'd be surprised if Mac T came back, because again,
I'm the only person in the world who would like to see Mac T come back.
I mean, Patrick Waugh is available, but I don't think he's wanted to do the big leagues anymore. He was pretty successful down in the minors.
Waugh's not a minor league personality, though.
I guess so.
No.
But maybe Waugh.
Anybody else who would shock you to your shoes? Todd Nelson.
Peter Laviolette.
John Cooper would would shock me.
Well, because he'd be working for two teams.
Because he'd be working for two teams. So I'd be very surprised if that were to happen. So, everyone stop with the John Cooper talk. It really annoys me.
Well, I think you're going to be able to talk to the stop with the Cassidy talk too, because LA is apparently interested in it.
Hey, makes sense. What if the Knights don't hire Torts full time, and they're just like, hey man, thanks for coming in at the end of the year. We got this figured out, and then the Oilers like, Torts, we need you, dog.
I just don't think Torts would be the guy that would do well here because, and I think the same of Cassidy. He's going to ask everybody to do certain things, and the Oilers have not traditionally rolled that way.
Like culture shock,
a little bit. I don't know, man. I think they're going to keep Chris Knobloch and then change out the lieutenants. That's what I believe. But I mean, I respect Frank Saravalli very much. He said that he thinks it's going to be, a coaching change. What's Krueger been saying?
I think Krueger is more focused on what the front office is doing from my recollection, but I think Declan's more suited to answer that question because he does work on a show.
Yeah, he's been I think you said it perfectly. He's definitely been a little bit more focused on what the front office is going to do. He's pretty adamant that he doesn't believe the change is necessary. Now, whether it comes or not is kind of a different line of thinking naturally, but he's more of the train of thought that it's not necessary. And he points to the stat that there's only been one coach in the last 55 years who has won a cup with two different teams. So bringing in someone who's already a cup winner. Now, I don't know if I always agree with this because nothing happens until it happens, but he's brought up the stats that it's not always a proven commodity doesn't always lead to team success.
I just think that the problem with you have a coach who signed for 3 more years. The first 2 years he took you to the Stanley Cup final. And I think that for the most part, we can agree the changes they made last summer in the assistant department didn't work, but Coffey came back and they were better. I like Connor Murphy. My fear is they're going to, they've kind of got a formula here. And, lots of times in history, whatever sport you want to look at, teams find a formula and then they don't succeed at that time. And then they blow it up and it takes them 4 or 5 years. Remember when Yaroslav Halak beat the Washington Capitals? And they fired the coach and they moved a bunch of people around and it took like 6 years to get back to the Stanley Cup. I mean, that can happen, man. So I guess I fear that if they, if you're going to do that, then I think you should get rid of the GM and the coach and everybody. Just move everybody out and then bring in new people. But I don't think you can do that in one summer, can you?
I mean, you can because it's Cates' money, right? At that point. So he can do whatever he wants with it.
I don't. What style would you change from this team? Because right now they're a freewheeling team, and at times they'll pay attention to detail, but the defense is often on their own, as is the goaltender.
I think you need more structure. Like they need that attention to detail more. That was a great putt.
Yeah, it was. But Cassidy is the guy, but not everybody is going to buy into what Cassidy wants, and Cassidy wants 100% buy-in.
Yeah. What is it that Billy Beane said? Brad Pitt said portraying Billy Beane in Moneyball, adapt or die.
Well, there's a little bit of that.
Like if Connor McDavid wants to win, then he's asking for things to be done. He has to be doing exactly what he's asking everyone else to do because that's what a winner is. Like I made the example to you guys on Tuesday in a break I've been rewatching The Last Dance, and Michael Jordan has this great little soliloquy right at the end of one of the episodes where he says, the one thing all my teammates will ever say about Michael Jordan is he never asked me to do something that I didn't do. So Michael Jordan always did the stuff that was necessary so that everyone else would do it. That's what Connor McDavid has to do.
Well, it's going to be an interesting summer, and I think that 11 years later, we know that what they've tried hasn't worked. They got to Game 7 of the Stanley Cup final, but they weren't strong defensively in that game. Although Stuart Skinner got blamed, they didn't score a lot either in Game 7. All right, so on the way, we have Steve Lansky coming up at 1 o'clock today. We have just around the corner rumors We're going to talk a little bit about the coaching options if the Oilers move on, which is perhaps unfair. And at 12:40 today, it's declinations. And what do we have in store for the group today, sir?
Yeah, Declan here, by the way, and I say that because someone texted in to say, "Hey, Declan, Patrick Waugh never coached in the minors," and I was not part of that.
That was my bad.
He meant junior.
I was not part of that conversation, so clearly I got to start doing the thing where I let everyone know it's me. So
Josh meant junior, and everybody knew that.
Well, yeah, that's that's
we
not
knew
the
what I
point
meant.
What I'm
but
bringing up.
alas,
the point is
I
that they
did not
thought it
do
was
good.
me, and it wasn't me. So I'm
So
doing the
everybody
Hey, Dad,
clear.
Declan thing.
Declan knows that Patrick Waugh didn't coach in the minors.
Yeah, but it's that's why I like. It's not even specific to that sentiment. It's specific to So hey, it's Declan here. We're gonna be doing the top 5 teams to watch in this year's World Cup.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So Canada, do they just get injuries at the worst time, or do they get injuries at the worst time?
When does the World Cup kick off?
That's part of it. The other thing is we got to be very real that Canada's not very good at soccer. We got to we're gonna let everyone know now. Now, the group is incredibly favorable, and I think they could get out of the group stage, especially with the potential of 3 teams getting out of the group stage in this year's World Cup.
What happened to this young group? The women went for 22 years.
Oh, they had an incredible run. One of the,
So the guys are done. We had the
Olympic
one
gold.
time, and now they're done?
No, but we just got to be real. We're not a very good soccer nation. When you want to compare us to Argentina or Brazil or Germany, there's levels to this.
They're not very good at hockey.
Yeah.
Their obsession.
There's levels. Right?
Well, I'm not saying Canada's going to win, but I'd like to see them get out of the group stage.
I actually think they will get out of the group stage.
Well, you said not very good, and I sort of
it's a weak group.
I blanched.
Though. It's a weak group.
All right. It's all straight ahead. We are so delighted that you're here. Don't forget Lansky at 1. This is the Lowdown with Lowetide, brought to you by Wolf GMC Buick on Sports 1440 and YouTube.
The longest running basketball show in Canada airs every Saturday morning at 10 on Sports 1440. Hoop City with Paul Sir introduces a new generation of basketball talk, and it's right here on Edmonton's home for sports, Sports 1440.
Whether you're refinancing or buying your first home, mortgages are easier with help from a neighbor. At Vision Credit Union, you get face-to-face guidance from local lenders who know the market because, well, they live here too. They'll look at your whole financial picture with practical advice for payments, renewals, refinancing, and what makes sense long-term. Get a more neighborly mortgage. Contact your branch today or visit visioncu.ca.
The longest running basketball show in Canada airs every Saturday morning at 10 on Sports 1440. Hoop City with Paul Sir introduces a new generation of basketball talk, and it's right here on Edmonton's home for sports, Sports 1440.
Legacy Heating and Cooling jingle auditions take 1 for Gene Principe. Hey, thanks for being on time.
I'm always punctual. Now, how about some cool beats while I drop the heat?
Ready when you are.
Tall legacy, tall legacy.
Nice.
Boom! I'm a musical genius.
Legacy's gonna love this for AC season.
What's not to love with no interest and no Principe payments for 1 year?
Are you always like this?
Yep. Unlike Legacy, I never know when to cool it.
Legacy Heating and Cooling.
For over 60 years, the folks at Diablo Boots have been selling the best Canadian-made boots. Handcrafted in Winnipeg, Canada West makes the best quality cowboy, biker, and work boots for Diablo Boots with replaceable soles and heels. Why buy cheaper quality like Ariat, Justin, and Red Wing made in China when Canadian-made is better? Support Canada's workers and Diablo Boots for the best boots. So save on boots by Save on Foods. That's Diablo Boots, 3340 Gateway Boulevard on the east side of Save on Foods. Canada West and Diablo Boots, the 2 best names in the boots business.
O'Hanlon Paving is looking for Finnish skid steer operators, Finnish grader operators, Class 1 drivers, and more to join their Edmonton Road Crew team. Bring your positive attitude and great work ethic to their job fair today from 10 until 3. Visit o'hanlonpaving.com/careers.
The Ford It's a Big Deal event is on now. Get a big deal on a 2026 F-150 STX with Black Appearance Package. Visit your Alberta Ford store today.
The Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440. Can you fit Sports Encyclopedia on a business card?
Presented by Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
This is the Lowdown on Sports 1440, brought to you by Wolf GMC Buick. Check them out at wolfgmcbuick.com. He's too sexy for what?
His chain, his shirt.
Oh, I thought he said cheese. I just didn't understand.
Probably that too, man. Futures.
Your face during that was hilarious. Your eyes and eyebrows were going all over the place.
Because I'm like, I heard cheese and I imagined a gigantic block of cheese. I was confused, and that happens to older people as they walk and move through life, and it's okay. It's the weekend, and I'll recover. It is time for Rumors, brought to you by Harley-Davidson of Edmonton. Harley-Davidson of Edmonton's open house is tomorrow. I enter to win a new Harley, plus door prizes and giveaways. Details at hdedmonton.com. New Harley. Doctor.
Maybe next summer.
They make a distinct noise, and they are the king.
Mm-hmm. Hey, listen, I got to work on getting my motorcycle license. I want one bad.
Dude, you don't remember when Taylor Hall was trying to get his boating license, do you?
No. At that time, I probably was like, I don't know, 11.
I think it was Ryan Whitney who kept giving people updates on it online, and it was pretty funny how, Taylor Hall said, all I want is my boating license.
I have my boating license.
He kept failing, right?
Oh.
And it was an open book test, according to Ryan Whitney.
It is an open book test.
If you fail an open book test, I don't think you should go public with it. That's just my opinion.
You get 3 chances at the test before you have to retake the course and try it again. I think I got it on my second try.
All right. A couple of things coming in. We are going to get to news because there are some things I want to talk about. But this is Reverend Hans on Vancouver Island. Is it Hans or Hans?
I imagine Hans.
In Die Hard, what did he call him?
Hans. It's Hans Gruber.
All right. Reverend Hans, not Gruber, on Vancouver Island. Waiting in on the hiring the coach discussion today from Vancouver. Going by the math, not the Oileville habit to hang coaches and goalies when impatience comes calling. Current coach amongst winningest active coaches in the NHL, including this year and this year's playoffs. Compare regular seasons, playoffs, and then goes on and writes a lot of words. But the point is made that you're absolutely right. He's a very successful coach. And that's why, personally, I don't think he'll be replaced. I think he will have a new staff. But again, Saravalli, he has better contacts than I do. Wrote the foreword in my book, by the way. On the Clock. Available in all wise bookstores. Maybe giving the head coach some experienced and stern assistant coaches. Well, remember, the 2 times they made it to the final, Glenn Gulletson and Paul Coffey were on the staff all year. You have the model that worked. Why don't you just remake and remodel? Right? It's like, let's say Lowetide is no longer a part of this show. All you have to do is go out and get a different Lowetide. Find somebody wandering down the mall wearing 2 left shoes who can't see or hear well. I mean, it's not that hard. There are people out there.
Particularly not in this mall.
Right. I mean, it's very possible to have that happen.
Mm-hmm.
Could be less than an hour. By the way, we have a new person, Chloe.
Yeah.
And what will she be doing?
I believe she's going to be doing some work around with Elks Nation. I don't know. I'm not in the process of hiring interns.
I don't think she's going to have any on-air presence.
Okay.
Yeah, no.
Right.
She'll just be around. She's going to do some work with Mackenzie and whatever else. But yeah, she's not going to really be in here with us.
All right. So then we don't have to explain me to her.
No.
Okay.
No. We don't have to worry about that at all. Unless she's out sitting at the bar and you're sitting there. Then we're going to be like, oh, sorry, we forgot about our senile grandpa.
Always best. Jordan says, Alex Tuck is staying in Buffalo. Oilers need guys that bleed orange and blue. McMahon, Kirby Doc, Jake Neighbors, Colton Parayko. Well, I mean, Tuck is a really good player. I wrote about him in The Athletic today. I also wrote about some of the names that you mentioned, McMahon and others. The Oilers don't have a lot of money. And quite frankly, not to be a jerk about it, but the free agent list is not strong today or this summer. So I think they're going to have to make, a trade as opposed to anything else. Fellas, the Oilers don't need drastic changes. What they need is to get bigger and more mobile players with a decent amount of hockey sense, like the Carolina Hurricanes, who, by the way, are just a win away from making it to the semifinals. And 4 of their top 6 players are what I would consider to be undersized. I talked about coaches and possible replacements should it come to pass that the Oilers move away from Chris Knobloch. And there's some interesting names out there at various sources. We've talked about some of them. Bruce Cassidy has come up quite a lot. I mentioned Jay Woodcroft. Did you mention Gerard Gallant, or did you mention
I'm the one that's
Tortorella?
brought up. I said Torts.
Okay.
I also said Wah.
Okay. And then Gallant would be included in there. Wah is interesting. And yes, he knows that Wah coached in junior, not in the minor leagues. It was one of those things. I read maybe a year ago or less about a coach named David Carl, who is a up-and-coming college coach, University of Denver. Very fine program. I think that the Oilers probably will go with a more experienced player or a goal coach, right? That's probably the route they're going to take because they had Woodcroft, and then now they had Chris Knobloch. I think both have been good coaches, but if there's a criticism, it might be that they don't have an experienced, background, and maybe Quenneville outcoached the young man in this particular series.
Mm-hmm.
That is a criticism that's been leveled. I tend to believe that the players decide that, but one of the things that I think Chris Knobloch could improve is his line matching. And as McDavid and Draisaitl age, that's something that maybe they want to look at, but we'll see. The Vancouver Canucks apparently are closing in on their general manager. They're down to, they're reportedly down to, this is from Rick Dahlwall, who's a very, very good source. Ryan Johnson and Evan Gold are the finalists. So we'll look forward to hearing about cap issues should they arise. We mentioned earlier Nikita Kucherov, Nathan McKinnon, and Connor McDavid have been named Hart Trophy finalists. McDavid won 7 years ago, something like that. I don't think that he's going to be a big factor. I think he'll finish third. I think we'll go to McKinnon. But having said that, that's my guess. I think there's a lot of voter fatigue. I think the Oilers, if they were to have won a Stanley Cup in the last several years, McDavid would be a stronger candidate with the voters.
I don't know. I think you can make a legitimate argument by the wording of the Hart Trophy that it's honestly between him and Cooch. Like, I think the weakest argument between all the players is McKinnon because they have unreal center depth. Cal McCarr is on the team, obviously. The Oilers struggled a lot this year. Connor McDavid absolutely put up points, particularly in that last month of the season with no Leon Draisaitl, when they didn't clinch a playoff spot until 78 games into the season, something like that. Like,
I think all three of them could win it, and it would be deserved.
I think all three of them could win it. I'm just looking at it from this point of view. Is like
I think McDavid's deserving, but like with Bouchard, I think Bouchard's a little different. With McDavid,
Bouchard's
there's just
way different.
There's just they voted McDavid the Hart Trophy winner how many times?
3 times.
Right.
No. He's got more hearts.
Five times, is it?
No, he's got maybe there's 3 hearts. 5.
I'm looking at this is per Big Head Hockey right now.
All right.
From 20 to now.
Right. And the last one was 2023. I think if he wins another Stanley Cup, he might win one, but he's reaching an age now 30 where it's more difficult to win the Hart. I don't think he'll win.
Well, here's the thing. Like, I think he very well could win this year. But I also, like, if it's Kucher, if it's McKinnon, that's not a robbery.
No. Like, you can't look at any of these and be
not.
like, oh, well, it should have been. They've all had outstanding seasons.
Do we need me to run back the stats I ran? On
no, because that was
we're not arguing about the stats. We're arguing about where these players are. You know, the Colorado Avalanche were really good at the beginning. They were good all year. McKinnon's going to win this.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, consistent greatness, but
I really think it's close between all three.
I think it's super
But you're looking at it from the numbers. I'm looking at it from the way they vote, and they'll vote McKinnon in. It was McKinnon's year. McDavid hasn't won a Stanley Cup. McKinnon has. It's McKinnon. And Kucherov, he should have been born in Kingston, Ontario. He won't win.
Honestly, I know I'm kind of the Cooch guy on the show, but just allow me for a second. If he finishes his career with 1 Hart, like, that'll be a travesty for some of the seasons he's had.
Well, I talked about Yari Curry yesterday, and I think Kucherov has a point, has the same kind of gripe. Sure, would he want to make it? You know, there's bias in the world. There just is, and nobody's going to die from this. But I think it's okay to point it out.
I mean, let's not forget about 23-24. I remember this because I obviously lived in the city. There was like, oh, Connor McDavid going to be the first Oiler to get 100 assists since Gretz.
First like player since him and Lemieux.
Yeah. Except Kucherov did the exact same thing, and he actually got 100 assists faster than McDavid
and
did.
with more goals. And neither of them won the Hart that year. You know what else is crazy? That 23 season, David Pastrnak had 61 tucks on a 65-win team and didn't win the Hart. Like, obviously, McDavid deserved it, duh, at 150-some points. Like, duh. But it's crazy that David Pastrnak, like any other year, you had 61 goals on a 65-win team, you would have won the Hart. But he was just obviously up against it with McDavid that
year. Especially considering what the goal scoring era is, right? This isn't, Solani and McGillney era. Goals are a little harder to come by. We have time, so I would like to talk about this. We had 3 NBA games yesterday. Pistons beat Cavaliers 107-97. They're up 2 Cobb. The Thunder over the Lakers 125-107, 2-0 there for the Thunder. And I'm sorry, those were the only 2, right? And we've got Knicks 76ers tonight and Spurs Timberwolves as well. So those 2 games where the Pistons and the Thunder won, no surprises. And this is how these 2 series are going to finish with Thunder and Detroit going on.
I think that's how they'll finish. I don't think the Pistons are going to sweep. I feel very confident in the fact that the Thunder are going to get this done. However, the Corgi predicted that the Thunder would blow a 3-1 lead to the Lakers this year.
I think that's crazy. I think the Lakers are also good at game. Also, like Detroit, I touched on this a couple of days ago. Like they, in that first round, they showed such an ability to have things fall apart. And Cleveland, as bad as that, like as not bad, I shouldn't say, but as problematic as they are, they're still talented enough. They should be able to win a game when.
They'll be able to win. Like
Declan here, by the way.
This is Josh. They should genuinely be able to win a game off of Evan.
In fairness, Donovan, tell them you're here.
Wow, that was the quietest Donovan's ever been.
Crickets.
That's why he's not here.
Like the Cavaliers should be able to win a game off a guy like Evan Mobley alone, because as much as I love Jalen Duren, he's got an extra like 3 inches on him or something. Yeah. Like he should be able to rise up and catch. Like he's taller than everybody.
And Duren, like he's actually played a little bit better than the box score reflects, but he's still got some things he needs to figure out, like movement wise and positioning wise. The other thing
being said,
I know we're beating a dead horse, and I know we honestly talk about it probably like once a day on this show. James Harden, man, here's
the thing. He is so bad at this that it's okay to talk about it every day.
He is going to go down, I think, honestly. Let me know where you guys come out on this take. I think he is going to go down as the #1 poster child in all of sports history, or at least North American sports history, for being a regular season hero and a playoff disaster. Like people will have bad games in the playoffs in the NHL, and they'll be like, "Oh, he's having a real James Harden night." Like Shohei, he'll give up 8 homers in 3 innings when he's pitching, and they'll be like, "Wow, that was a real James Harden night from Shohei." Like that's what Harden's legacy will be.
It would have to be like in a World Series game, because Harden in the regular season does all kinds of great work.
But if we're labeling him as playoff choker, like I would agree. However,
no way.
If Aaron Judge goes his entire career without winning a World Series,
well, I don't know.
His playoff numbers have been bad.
And
that's a good show.
But when he's hurt, don't play him in the outfield, and then don't blame him when he doesn't make the catch or the throw.
No, I could give a rip about his defensive numbers. Like
he's not there for defense.
But Giancarlo Stanton is at the bat, and that's the manager's fault. Judge should have been the DH. He wasn't well.
Judge should be the DH. But I'm just saying, through the entirety of his playoff career, I do not think Aaron Judge has been very good at the plate.
Well, lots of time. Not really. In baseball, the Cubs and Mets apparently have discussed Freddie Peralta trade. Mets are garbage. God, the Mets. When I was a kid, the Mets did this too. Like they've done it forever. They have won World Series, 69, 86. Have they won any others?
No, they only have 2.
Yeah. But they're often, great expectations and then just humbling regular seasons. And they're in the middle of that right now. They have no bats. When Soto went out, they could not hit a ball out of the infield. And so Peralta, apparently one of 3 teams, are the Cubs, to mention a Freddie Peralta trade, which is kind of cool when you think about it, that they're already talking about trade deadline, which does come early in baseball. All right, at 12:34, we have just a touch of time here, just a pinch of time here. Is there anything we've missed that we should be talking about? Any football stuff? Aaron Rodgers, I know, will be showing his toenails on Pittsburgh public television, apparently visiting the Steelers and going to finalize a deal.
Yeah, all right. We figured that's probably the way it was going to go. I don't think anyone else was offering him a contract.
He was drafted when? 1987?
Pretty close around there.
Yeah. Okay.
No, what was it? 2005, right, Tech?
Yeah, fell. He was
ball nowhere.
Because the 49ers had the first pick and he went to Cal. Cali kid was supposed to be the first pick to them. Fell all the way to Green Bay.
No. Does Lowetide pronounce Kucherov just to troll? No,
yes.
That's his name.
It's Kucherov.
Yeah, Kucherov.
Shout out to Tipsy McStagger, though, because I mentioned about wanting to get a motorcycle license, and he sent me some information on a course that I could take. So thanks, man.
Okay. Do your parents know?
I told my mom once upon a time that I did really want to get a motorcycle license, and she was like, please don't. And then it's the only time I've ever said, I'm an adult. I get to do what I want.
Right. He was right. Don't do it. Bro.
Yeah.
No, it's going to happen. I want
you to do me a favor. When you seeing your mom and dad next?
I'll be seeing my mom next week. She's coming up for work.
Mom and dad.
I don't know when I'm seeing them both at the same. Actually, Father's Day weekend at the latest.
Okay. So what you do is Father's Day weekend, you sit them down and you look them both in the eye and you say to them, Mom and Dad, I'm getting a motorcycle and there's no negotiation. And then get up and walk away.
I said that already.
Yeah,
I'm an adult. I get to do what I want.
To both Mom and Dad.
Yeah, they were both there.
When they're together.
They were both there when I said that.
Yeah, I would reiterate.
I don't think my dad could really give a rip. I don't think he cares
You're
that
gonna wear
much.
a helmet, right?
No, I plan on getting a full motorcycle with no helmet, no protective gear whatsoever.
I don't know if they still have it, but there's a place in Montana where you could go and drive without.
That's psychotic. Why would anybody ever do that? You're riding a vehicular, you're riding a death trap.
Josh?
On two wheels.
The problem is, and I love motorcycles, that people don't see you. So you got to be really careful. Will you take the most defensive driving course in history?
Sure.
Like I want grandmas to teach you how to ride a motorcycle.
I don't know if they know how, unless is the grandma from Hoodwinked teaching me?
No, it's Ron Howard's dad from Happy Days.
Okay.
And she's not pleased you're buying a bike. All right. On the way, we've got declinations. Looking forward to that bigly. Lowdown with Lowetide brought to you by Wolf GMC Buick on Sports 1440 and YouTube.
You don't just need property services, you need problems handled. HireGood provides cleanup, debris removal, site monitoring, and safety attendance across Edmonton. We reduce issues on your property, keep spaces safe, and take pressure off your team. We resolve real problems for businesses while creating real impact because our team is built on second chances and they show up every day ready to prove it. Visit hiregood.ca or call and mention Jason Krueger for a first-time discount. HireGood. Stable jobs create stable lives.
The tents are up and the deals are out. The Brick's biggest sale of the season is on now. Pick up to 60% off clearance items in the tents. Sofas start at $3.99 and save up to 50% on select mattresses. Get a sofa, coffee table, mattress, bed frame, and dining set, all for less than $1,500. Only at the Brick's tent sale. See you in store for details and exclusion. The Brick, saving you more.
The longest running basketball show in Canada airs every Saturday morning at 10 on Sports 1440. Hoop City with Paul Sir introduces a new generation of basketball talk, and it's right here on Edmonton's home for sports, Sports 1440.
McValue meals are here. Get the McDs you love for $5 plus tax every day with your choice of a McDouble, junior chicken, or chicken snack wrap with small fries and small fountain drink. All for just $5 plus taxes. Canadian restaurants. Product availability varies. Prices exclude delivery.
The Lawnmower Hospital. You've enjoyed a long winter with your Ego snowblower, but now it's the time to get ready for spring. Bring your summer Ego equipment in for service. Or if you're looking to add to your lawn care fleet with new mowers or trimmers, Ego has a wide selection of products to fit every season. Ego also has the powerful wet-dry vacuum and pressure washer to make your cleaning and lawn care a breeze. We're more than repairs. We're more than mowers. The Lawnmower Hospital.
Millions and millions of Canadians do not have a doctor. We have a crisis. Canada's Medical Clinic is opening clinics across Canada to allow everyone to have a doctor to call their own. Early detection saves lives. We've got some great news. You can call now and book an appointment with your new doctor. Canada'sMedicalClinic.com. And more good news. Canada's Medical Clinic Windermere is also now a walk-in clinic. We'll see you there.
When I get older, I will be strong.
Here's the lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440.
Presented by Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
It's the lowdown on Sports 1440. We're brought to you by Wolf GMC Buick. It's a family-owned, community-driven. We're making it easy. Visit wolfgmcbuick.com. Watching a beautiful golf course. These guys are just ripping it up. What tournament is this? Trust Championship. Where is it?
I actually don't know where this is. I can look it up really quick.
It's just lovely there. It's lovely here too, though. But I mean, you've golfed already this week.
This is at Quail Hollow Club in Charlotte. That's a fantastic course.
Okay.
Quail Hollow is a great one.
Where did you golf?
I golfed at the Broadmoor Public Golf Course out in Sherwood Park.
That's
my essentially home track. That's where I really learned how to golf during COVID. So yeah, went out there. I had a lovely time. I played with some lovely 8th grade boys. They all played hockey because they all shot left-handed.
Yes.
That's how I clocked that. One of them was actually left-handed, however.
Some lovely 8th grade boys.
And they were very nice. They were
good kids.
They were sweet kids.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the one kid, he kept looking for the cart girl because he wanted chips, whatever. And so finally we get up to the par 3 and she's waiting for us to finish teeing off so she can come up and see if we want anything. And I'm like, oh, buddy, there's your girlfriend over there. Don't duff this into the water. That's exactly what he did. Yeah. Poor kid. But then, yeah.
But then again, if it had been, selling olives in the cart, you might have dunked it into the river.
No.
Right.
But they got chips. I paid for them because
you're a good guy.
They were nice lads, and that happened to me when I was a kid. Guys would buy me a water or Powerade or whatever. So pay it forward, When
I was a kid at 22, he's saying this. All right, it's time for Declinations, brought to you by Fairway Divorce Solutions. The clear road to a new life. There is a better way. Fairwaydivorce.com. And now, ladies and gentlemen, with Declinations, the future Prime Minister, Declan Krueger.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but the World Cup right around the corner. I want to make sure I get the starting day right, June 11th. Yep. So a little over a month's time here. Josh, do you want to go? We each give our 5. We each give our 4.
Yeah, we'll go back and forth.
Okay, I like that. So when I texted Josh what the declinations was going to be today, this isn't a top 5 prediction. This is just a top 5 teams to watch or keep an eye out for here at this upcoming World Cup. So at number 5, I have England. England, very, very much the Toronto Maple Leafs of the soccer world. But you talk about the talent they have here, obviously my guy Cole Palmer, Phil Foden, Reece James, Bukayo Saka, Harry Kane, still dangerous as a striker. All the talent in the world, as they should, but have just never really been able to get over the hump at the World Cup level. Had some great teams, those teams with Stevie G and Scholesy and Frank Lampard, Wayne Rooney and Becks and Rio. I could list the whole starting 11 of just legends. Never been able to do it. They got a young team. They got a good upstart team. I'm not sure what their group is off the top of my head. I would have to double check it, but this is a team they are the Toronto Maple Leafs. If you take one thing away from what I'm saying right now, it's that they're the Toronto Maple Leafs. They have to do well, otherwise it doesn't go over well across the pond. So England.
They also have to win in reg because they can't win in penalty kicks,
which is crazy because they have some lethal penalty shooters like Cole Palmer. I don't know, he is the quintessential gets subbed on in the 119th minute so he can come take a pen. They have guys who can really blast him. Harry Kane obviously had a big gaffe at the last World Cup, but yeah, England, you're my number 5 team to keep an eye on.
Yeah, hey, nice. England did not make my list. I was looking at more like dark horses or whatever. Now, notable, I am not as into the soccer world as Declan is. So I was reading RotoWire all of this morning, trying to put together, who could be a fun watch. So my number 5 is the Czech Republic.
Oh,
they're,
cool.
They're RotoWire's dark horse in the Group A to make it out. However, from what I was reading, they're big and they're tactical. And I like that idea. Just big guys going, I know exactly where I got to go right now. So, yeah, the Czech Republic could be fun. That's basically it. That's all I got. I don't have much insight into the Czech Republic, unfortunately.
Yeah, I was trying to see who their captain was. It is Ladi Krejci. He plays for Wolves, for anyone who's familiar with the Prem.
Okay, see, Premier League guy.
Yeah.
Prem.
My number 4 team
it's the slang.
is Haiti. They are not very good. Let's just not bury the lead there. They're the 83rd ranked nation in the world, I believe. And I want to get this right as well. I think they are the They are the second lowest ranked team in the World Cup this year. So that's always a lot of fun. Or as it stands right now. The country is going through the midst of warlord takeover thing. I don't think it's great in Haiti right now. So the fact that obviously the beautiful game here is going to hopefully unite some things in the nation, I think is very cool to watch for. And listen, I don't think they're going to get out of their group, but maybe they pick up a win against Scotland. So Haiti, you are my number 4 team to keep an eye on. And it's just a cool story.
Yeah, I agree.
Declan, I'm going to need you to look where their ranking is in this because they're not a dark horse contender and they're not a projected qualifier. My number 4 team is New Zealand. And this is the only line for them in the RotoWire article here. New Zealand impose aerial chaos and physical disregard for possession etiquette. This group will be heavy, slow, tense, and brutally unforgiving in the race to the knockout stage.
Yeah.
That sounds like their games are going to be fun.
Are they playing rugby?
They're actually the lowest ranked team that didn't have to go through the UEFA or the IFC plan. They're ranked 86th in the world, lowest ranked team in the World Cup.
I cannot wait.
Yeah.
They're just going to from what I read, they're just a bunch of rugby guys that are like, all right, now we're turning over to the pitch for a second.
Their group is Belgium, Egypt, and Iran. So make of that what you will, but
they're going to get smoked. But physical disregard for possession etiquette, I'm like, oh, I'm in. I'm fully bought in.
All right, my number 3, Curacao. Not even a country, just a territory. But they are the 82nd, I believe, ranked team in the world. They didn't have this is their debut appearance at the FIFA World Cup. They didn't have an international match until 2011. So in 15 years to build up a program, by the way, from an island nation, if you want to call it that, of only 155,000 people, to build up to being a World Cup nation in only 15 years, that's pretty impressive stuff. Now, again, are they going to win a game? Probably not, but I think they must be the team with the lowest population of any country in the World Cup.
Check Portugal.
Yeah. So I just unbelievably cool story that they're there. Probably not going to win a game, but how cool is it that they can make it 155,000 people? Their entire nation has 10 times less the amount of people than Edmonton, and they're in the World Cup. Let me put it in those terms for you. That's amazing. That's something to watch.
Very nice. My number 3, Morocco. They're actually a top qualifier in their group. It's basically between them and Brazil. Sounds like they're defensive. If there's anything that I love, it is hard-nosed defense. And they're strong in the midfield, so I'm excited to see basically them playing pressure and then just grinding out a 1-0 game the entire time is what I'm essentially getting from what I'm reading.
I like that.
So give me Morocco. That'll be fun.
My number 2, Spain. I think they should be favorites to win it all. They have a recent Ballon d'Or winner, and Rodri won it a couple years ago playing as the CDM. They have probably the best player in world football, or one of the top 2, in Lamine Yamal, who's also kind of a young upstart, what's the phrase? Wunderkind.
Yep.
I mean, listen, they're just so deep everywhere. They're so good everywhere. Talent, every game they're going to be in, they're arguably going to have the best player at every position on the pitch. Not every game. There are going to be some matchups where they'll be outmatched in some positions, but it's theirs to lose this year. They're the strongest team in the world. They should be the favorites, And if Lamine Yamal can have this crowning achievement at this age, similar to Kylian Mbappe in 2018, what a story it will be for him.
They're a fun team to watch too. They're so meticulous.
Yeah. My number 2, the reigning champions, Argentina.
Okay.
Listen, man, you tell me Lionel Messi's on the TV and
You're
best
watching
on best,
He's
and
just
best on
amazing.
best football. I will be turning on and I will be tuning in. And I mean, wouldn't it be something for him to never have gotten one? Then he gets one. Then he goes back to back. That would be something, I tell you what.
And they got a good squad too.
Yeah. Isn't it the same as the Argentina national team in basketball? It's they've basically all been playing together since they were, 12.
Yeah, that's a big part of it. Just a nation that breeds talent too. They're kind of like Messi. Messi with this Argentina squad is maybe a little bit like I'm trying to think of what a good comparison would be, and I can't think of one because he's
one of one.
Yeah, he is. But it's you know what it is? It's the Master Shredder with the Ninja Turtles meme. Where he's big and they're all little and long, and then that's kind of what that team is.
Okay.
He's just, he is such a special player, and has been forever. And that's why when he won, finally, it was just a beautiful moment. Everybody who's a fan of the game was a fan of that moment.
Even if you weren't a fan of the game, you know who Lionel Messi is, and just that was a knock on him essentially.
Yeah,
he's done it all.
The only ones who didn't celebrate were Ronaldo fans,
basically.
And I think I've said this too, and I stand 100 toes down on this take. I think he is the GOAT of GOATs in sports.
Probably.
When everyone's sitting at the table, he's at the head of the table.
I mean, what he does is just so beyond. He's such a great thinking man's player.
Yeah,
he's done everything that he's done and become the GOAT of football at 5'4", right?
5'7".
I know, but hey, you know what? At that point, short is short. That is something.
Yeah, and light too, and just incredible.
And just the passes, the pace, everything about him is just a little bit special.
Oh my goodness!
It's like Federer's passing shot. You have to rewind it and see if you saw what you saw.
That's a great reference. It's my TikTok went through a bit of an algorithm lately where it was just players talking about Messi and Boateng. He talked about him and he was like, "Listen, he doesn't make mistakes," and everyone on the panel started laughing and he was like, "No. He really doesn't make mistakes." It's just crazy to hear these world-class players talk about it. Anyway, my number 1 is Canada.
Mine too.
Host country, Canada. Let's get loud. Alphonso Davies, Kyle Larin, Jonathan David. I want to see you guys show out. And I honestly think we can get out of the group stage. So that'll be big for us.
Which would be beautiful.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Couldn't have said it more eloquently.
I'm wearing red.
How are we with injuries?
Well, Alphonso Davies with a hamstring for 45 weeks.
He's a little always injured, which doesn't give you the most confidence, but hey, I'm still.
But will he be able to play in any of the games?
Yeah, it's the World Cup. You gotta.
He'll gut it out.
He'll tape it up.
He'll gut it out at one point.
That's one thing I do love about World Cup is that if your nation calls you and you're in the Premier League, everybody understands that you're going.
Yeah,
that's it. You're going.
The domestic leagues go on hold.
But I mean, in the run-ups as well.
Yeah.
You just get the call and it's you don't even have to go ask.
I've been rewatching Ted Lasso recently. What a fun, I enjoy it so much.
Ted Lasso?
Yeah. And they just I'm just finishing season 3 right now again. And the World Cup just happened. So everyone went and did stuff. But Jamie Tart wearing Sam's number brought a tear to my eye.
There you go. Okay. On the way, Steve Lansky will join us, and we'll talk a little bit about the Edmonton Oilers, Toronto Maple Leafs, playoffs, and maybe if we have some time, some Jays talk. And then we're going to get right back to the Edmonton Oilers offseason. Is there a new coach coming? When do the loud noises happen? Probably during Gregor's show, which is starting at 2 o'clock today. So we'll look forward to that as well. Lowdown with Lowetide, brought to you by Wolf GMC Buick. It's time for an update with Declan Krueger.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Brought to you by Elks Nation. For the best Elks coverage year-round with podcasts and articles, go to elksnation.ca. News out of the sporting world is Connor McDavid, Nathan McKinnon, and Nikita Kucherov have been named the finalists for this year's Hart Trophy. The Seahawks The sale drawing softer than expected interest per reports, and NFL referees have agreed on a 7-year CBA, avoiding a potential work stoppage. In the NHL tonight, we will see the Canadiens and the Buffalo Sabres at 5 o'clock, Vegas and Anaheim at 7:30. In the NBA, New York and Philly at 5, and San Antonio, Minnesota at 7:30. And in the MLB, action will get going at 4:10 with the Astros and the Reds. The Blue Jays will throw out their first pitch at 5:07 as they play host to the Angels. It's going to be Dylan Cease on the mound for that one. I'm Declan Krueger. Up next is Steve Lansky, and this has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, Stingray Radio Station. CKJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
60 years ago, we started selling trucks as Western GMC Buick. Today, we are Wolf GMC Buick. We're still located on the corner of 184th Street and Stony Plain Road with the same ownership for over 2 decades. Our customers have trusted our family-owned, community-driven business. And for that, we are thankful. If you're looking for a truck or SUV, pop in and one of our seasoned professionals will get you a great deal, hassle-free. Come trust our team at Wolf GMC Buick. Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy.
When your project can't afford downtime, call Japa Equipment Rentals. From excavators and wheel loaders to compaction equipment, Japa has the machines you need. Trusted since 1972. Visit japaequipment.com or stop our Edmonton or Calgary locations.
For many families, the stress of divorce can throw your life out of balance. The loss of a relationship, ongoing conflict, mounting legal bills, and uncertainty about the future can feel overwhelming. Hi, I'm Corey Anderson with Fairway Divorce Solutions. At Fairway, our team helps you restore balance through mediation, negotiation, and a unique step-by-step process. With 2 offices in Edmonton dedicated to serving your needs, our goal is simple: to help you navigate a path back to peace and clarity. Visit us today at Fairway Divorce.
The longest running basketball show in Canada airs every Saturday morning at 10 on Sports 1440. Hoop City with Paul Sir introduces a new generation of basketball talk, and it's right here on Edmonton's home for sports, Sports 1440.
Good to go. Good to go. With Mortgages to Go, you'll be good to go. Mortgagestogo.ca says yes when the banks say no. That's why Alberta has trusted Mortgages to Go for over 23 years. If you need cash and have equity in your home, you're approved instantly, guaranteed. Call 1-888-888-5998. That's 1-888-888-5998. With Mortgages to Go, you'll say, I'm good
to go. Legacy Heating and Cooling jingle auditions take 1 for Gene Principe. Hey, thanks for being on time.
I'm always punctual. Now, how about some cool beats while I drop the heat?
Ready when you are.
Tall legacy, tall legacy.
Nice.
Boom! I'm a musical genius.
Legacy's going to love this for AC season.
What's not to love with no interest and no Principe payments for 1 year?
Are you always like this?
Yep. Unlike Legacy, I never know when to cool it.
Legacy Heating and Cooling.
For over 60 years, the folks at Diablo Boots have been selling the best Canadian-made boots. Handcrafted in Winnipeg, Canada West makes the best quality cowboy, biker, and work boots for Diablo Boots with replaceable soles and heels. Why buy cheaper quality like Ariat, Justin, and Red Wing made in China when Canadian-made is better? Support Canada's workers and Diablo Boots for the best boots. So save on boots by Save On Foods. That's Diablo Boots, 3340 Gateway Boulevard on the east side of Save On Foods. Canada West and Diablo Boots, the 2 best names in the boots business.
Bashaw Concrete Products. From concrete and septic tanks to blocks, precast water pads, jersey barriers, and aggregates. Farmers, contractors, homeowners. Plan your next project at BashawConcrete.com. Family owned. Over 60 years pouring. Bashaw Concrete Products. Once again, start here. BashawConcrete.com. Here's the Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440.
Presented by Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
It's the Lowdown on Sports 1440, brought to you by Wolf GMC Buick. Family owned, community driven. We're making it easy. Visit wolfgmcbuick.com. Fitting that I'm telling you about Wolf GMC Buick in a moment where Declan just played one of the great driving songs. Love Steve Winwood and love Valerie. That whole Arc of the Diver album was fantastic. All right. Very busy hour on the way. We're going to talk about what you want to talk about. Lots of comments, lots of Oilers talk, and more. Our headliner of the day is Steve Lansky, brought to you by Faber. Cash Flow Crunch got your business on the sidelines. Schedule your free consultation with Faber's licensed insolvency trustees and get back in the game. Visit faber.ca. And with that, we say a hearty hello to our friend Steve Lansky, who is enjoying summer. Well, he's retired, so he's just enjoying every day. But specifically, the warm weather makes him happy. Steve, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good, except I'm coughing because do you have like hay fever at all, or when you retire, that goes away?
No, it gets worse. I get it every spring and every fall. I used to sneeze. Oh, God. When I worked golf tournaments, I'd be out on the course, and you'd have to sneeze, and a guy's over a putt. It's not good. It's not good. But now it's just coughing and coughing and coughing. I hate it.
Yeah, it sounds like it was a scene out of Caddyshack, though. That's fun.
It was. Oh, it was very funny. And my camera ops would always look at me like, don't you dare sneeze. Don't you dare sneeze. Yeah, that's how it works.
Lots of comments this week from Edmonton Oilers fans. Evan Bouchard, not one of the finalists for the Norris Trophy, and Connor McDavid, one of the finalists for the Hart Trophy. My own feeling is that he won in 2023. McKinnon's Colorado Avalanche were brilliant beginning to end. I think it's McKinnon's year. Do you agree?
Yes, 100%. It's certainly not Kucherov's, and it's certainly not McDavid's. And I know it's on the regular season, but Nathan McKinnon's had a year to end all years, and if he goes all the way and wins the Stanley Cup, that really is something.
I also think there's a little bit of fatigue for Oilers, whether it be McDavid or Bouchard or Draisaitl. They haven't won the Stanley Cup, and it is a regular season thing, but it's also for all time. It's also for lore. There's a certain amount of expectation when you name a player a Hart Trophy winner 3 times in a row. It's sort of like certifying them in real time that they're a Hall of Famer. And a Stanley Cup usually is part of that resume.
Yeah, it's funny when you look back, isn't it? And I don't know how many Hart Trophies Wayne won, either 6 or 9. It's one of the two. But I always look and I go, well, yeah, that's about the right number for that guy. Yeah, that's about the right number for that guy. I know you're looking it up now. Yeah, that's about the right number for Mario Lemieux. Yeah, that's about the right number for Guy Lafleur. And sometimes it doesn't match. And you think, wow, that guy only won 1 Hart Trophy, or that guy only won 2 Hart Trophies. And then other times it makes perfect sense.
Yeah, 9 is what Gretzky won. And Messi had to wait all the way till he was done winning them, or at least almost done winning them to win his first one.
Also seems about right, yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, what are you going to do, right? Messier was a brilliant player, but he was playing with Wayne Gretzky, so that he had to wait his turn.
Yeah.
Right. So I want to ask you about the Toronto Maple Leafs. Lots of things going on. They won the draft lottery, and whoever they pick will instantly become legend and have a wonderful life in the Toronto area. And they also hired John Chayka and Matt Sundin as a dual management group, and a lot of pushback from the analytics folks, which I didn't expect to see about John Chayka. And I think that if you're a Toronto Maple Leafs fan, you're delighted at Matt Sundin, although the actual experience in management might be a concern.
Yeah, Matt Sundin, it's just because you can pick up a stick and shoot a puck, does that make you management material? I've never understood that. I'll never understand that as long as I live. I don't remember Frank Selke Sr. shooting a puck. I really don't. I know Jack Adams did for the Detroit Red Wings, but there are very few and far between, I think, great hockey executives or sports executives for that matter, who actually picked up a ball or a bat or a stick or a puck or anything like that. That's a strange dynamic, and I also think there's some hero worship involved in there, and I'm pretty sure you know what I think about that. I think it's an interesting duo that Keith Pelly put together. If you know Keith Pelly, you're not really too surprised, that he's done something like that. But my guess is this may not be the perfect solution for the Toronto Maple Leafs.
So that dovetails into Austin Matthews saying that he's not sure if he'll be back. That sounds like, by the time you say you're not sure, sounds like it's over. If you have to trade Austin Matthews this summer, if I'm an NHL team and I'm interested in Matthews, I'll send you young players, but I'm not sending you my best young players, but I'm trying to win the Stanley Cup. So picks and young players for Matthews, that sounds like a rebuild. Is Toronto up for this?
That's a good question. If I'm a hockey team, let's say I'm the Toronto Maple Leafs, I think when you've got somebody who's, let's call him elite, like Austin Matthews, like Connor McDavid, like Leon Draisaitl, I think you have to look at their body of work. So let's take Austin Matthews. Let's look at his body of work. Has he done what he should have done by now in his career? For me, that would be a no. And once I reach no, I'm like, okay, is he ever going to get there? My next guess would be no, he's not. In which case, that's it. I'm done. And sports is a funny thing. Hockey's really funny in that they hang on to guys way, 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 way past their due date. And I think either a guy's going to win or he's not. But I don't think he's going to win 4 cups when he's 32 years old. I could be wrong, but to me, send him on his way.
And that, that's brings us to the team that's still in it, although they're having a tough time with Minnesota or Buffalo, which, par for the course. Buffalo's a good team. The Montreal Canadiens are, it's funny how the renewal occurs not that long ago. Carey Price was playing outstanding, and the Habs had an unexpected trip to the final, but it wasn't real. Now they're kind of rebuilding, and they're not there yet, but it looks like they're on their way. This Montreal Buffalo series to me is like, if you haven't watched hockey all year, this is like, oh, the future has arrived, and it's Buffalo and Montreal.
The speed is incredible, isn't it? And if this doesn't go 7, I'll be shocked. I think Montreal has just as good a chance of winning this series as Buffalo. I think it's all going to depend on, can Dovish outplay Lyon? And I think he can. I think every Buffalo shot in game 1, I mean every shot, was so perfectly placed. And I think, those are going to go in. Well, guess what? They're not going to do that every game. It's not going to happen. Montreal's going to break out. Good God, I hope Cole Caulfield scores a goal. If that happens, Montreal is right in this. But God, it was a great game to watch, that first one, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. And I think it is a split. I mean, I think the first 2 go 1 for each team, and we'll find out. And the only thing I do wonder is how either of them are going to get by Carolina. They're having a pretty easy run here. They haven't lost a game yet, and they're going to be well rested whenever that semifinal starts.
The only way they're going to get by them is if Carolina sweeps Philly, Freddie Anderson has to sit for a week, and during that week he starts thinking. Then Carolina's good. Right? Then Carolina's going to have a problem. Otherwise, it's going to be Carolina and Colorado in the Stanley Cup final, which I wasn't really relishing that. But if these two teams play this way until they get there, I'm starting to relish it. I really am.
Did you think that it's only 2-0 for Colorado now, but did you think Minnesota would show better, or did you all along think the Wild would have a really hard time with the Avalanche?
I think there's 2 things that happen to every team in the Stanley Cup playoffs in the first round. Either you win without really busting it, or you give it everything you've got to win your first round series. The problem is you never know which one it is until the second round starts. I think Minnesota gave more than they knew they were going to have to give, and I just don't think they have it. I think LA, that series against Colorado series against LA, that was a walkover. So it really is tough when you have a first round that goes 7 games, not just that it goes 7 games, but that you had to give it everything you had. Like Philly obviously had to give it everything they had against Pittsburgh. Well, you don't know that until the next round starts. My guess is Rick Tocchet and the rest of them look around the room and go, our tank's at 62%. We're in big trouble.
And then the final one, Anaheim has tied this series. They looked good in game one as well. Vegas won that one. They came back and won game number two. Now, the Ducks are, well coached by a veteran. They're a young team. They're probably farther now than many of us thought they would be. Do you think they have a chance in this series?
Oh, wow. If they skate like they can as youth, and Dostal makes the saves he needs to make, yeah, I do. Because they're way younger than Vegas, way younger. They may not be as smart, but at some point, even if you're smart, you may not be able to beat the young speed. Again, if you said it's going 7, I'd buy it. But I think Anaheim showed a lot. I still think the Oilers could have beaten them. If they'd have put their head through the glass every chance they could, we'd be watching the Oilers in Vegas right now. And I still think it was critical that the Oilers won that division, which they didn't. And I think that's what ultimately kiboshed them in the first round. But yeah, I think Anaheim could be right there, as long as they don't, again, think too much and just say, hey, we're younger, faster, we can beat them. If you say that enough, you start to believe it.
Speaking of the Oilers, Steve Lansky joining us for Inside the Truck podcast on Sports 1440, Lowdown with Lowetide, also on YouTube. So, man, there's so many rumors flying around this town. Steve, if I listed them all, there'd be so many cross purposes rumors from fans or discussions from fans where, the coach is going to stay but have a new coaching staff. They're going to fire the coach. Frank Saravalli says he's leaning towards a complete new coaching staff. There's talk of, deals that might be made, what they've got to bring in, the style of hockey that people want to see in the fall. What's your take on Edmonton now that we've had a few days here to contemplate what occurred? What would you like to see in terms of changes to this roster?
I'd like to see so much of the onus taken off 97 and 29 that it would make the team more of a team rather than 2 guys and 18 other guys. I didn't say that exactly the way I wanted to, but it's close. Yeah. And the problem is these 2 guys have been built up to be gods. And it's hard to play with 2 gods when you're just Joe Schmo, because you gotta be 20 guys. And no matter how much we say, oh no, we're a team, we're all a team. We're not a team. We're not a team. We can't be with this disproportionate scoring and focus put on that roster. So I think that there needs to be something done there, whether it's physically or whether it's also mentally, where we come in and we say, okay, we're gonna change this up quite a bit. We're gonna have a coach maybe like a Pete DeBoer, who's I know not available now, but who's just not going to take any crap surrounding all that stuff. It's hard. It's a big pot to stir, and it's a pot full of glue, and it's hard to move stuff around. But I think there's got to be a mental shift more than there's got to be a physical shift. But I think there should be some physical shifting too.
Well, I think we see a version of this every summer, and I think Cassidy would want the same were he to come here. But, there's always talk. There was talk this at the end of the year about, you're playing McDavid and Draisaitl together so everybody can get involved. And then there'll be talk of, well, the number 1 power play will get a minute and the number 2 power play will get a minute. And then the season starts and none of that is mentioned again. It's like get McDavid and Draisaitl out there as soon as they're rested, and everybody else can just, work around them and just play until they can get the good players back on. And it even looks that way at times. And it's unfortunate because as gifted as they are usually like panting like 2 huskies by the time the playoffs start.
So exactly my point, different words. That's exactly right. And I cannot believe I'm going to say this out loud. A lot of people aren't going to like this. Remember when Peter Pocklington traded Wayne Gretzky?
Yes.
Do I have to say it? Something to think about.
They won the cup.
Something to think about. Something to think about. 4 and 5 years. Something to think about.
Okay, but let me ask you, because and this is I sit down at my typewriter and I write stuff for The Athletic and I write stuff for my blog and I write stuff to prep for this show. And I say, okay, now we're going to put our head around trading Connor McDavid. And then the first thing I do is say, okay, well, the worth of the team is going to go down. Like, I think in a way, ownership and management are sort of prisoners of the same thing McDavid is. It's like Elvis or the Beatles. And so you don't even have the same dilemmas because it's just so big. And I don't know what to do about that.
So wasn't Wayne Gretzky Elvis or the Beatles, or Elvis and the Beatles? Listen, nobody liked that trade. But when I look back now, I know why he did it. I know exactly why he did it. It may not have been the right year. He maybe should have waited one more year before he dealt Wayne, waited to 89 instead of 88. But I know exactly why he did it, because you've got to look at, they're a fun team to watch under Connor McDavid. How many of those banners have gone up? Isn't that what we're trying to do? Aren't we trying to win a big 36-pound or whatever the hell it is, silver mug? Isn't that what we're trying to do? Well, guess what? We're not. So how do you examine that in a room full of, first you have to get everybody to buy in the room that this isn't working. It's not working. Not working. Fix it.
Well, I think a lot of fans feel that way. I really do. And I think that based on we haven't heard a word, and it's like several days later. And the longer that goes, where somebody doesn't say, oh yeah, the coach is coming back and this is what it's going to look like, then the more, the either tension or anticipation in the fan base takes hold. And I expect some loud noises here this summer. I kept focusing on Darnell Nurse waving, Austin Matthews leaving in Toronto. Sometimes big, paradigm shifts and great alterations arrive as a surprise. Do you think it's possible this summer?
I do think it's possible. And the best way I can say it is, I think the Oilers are being held hostage, not intentionally, by two great players. And you've got to figure out how to extract yourself from that. Nobody asked for it. Nobody wanted it, but that's what's happening. The Penguins weren't held hostage by Lemieux. The Oilers not by Gretzky, not by Messier necessarily, but I think that's what's happened here. It's unfortunate. It took a decade to happen. Now you got to figure out how to extricate.
Okay, so I had information. I knew John Short very well, and John was very connected. And when the trade happened for Messier, John told me, may he rest in peace, wonderful man, that Slats basically said, look, where do you want to go? And that was the deal they made. And people can believe that or not, but that's the word that I had from John. So do you think that when the time comes, it'll be somewhat similar for Connor McDavid?
Well, what would earn you that question? I'm thinking it's 5 Stanley Cups in blue and orange. I'm looking at 0 at the moment. So I'm thinking no.
Okay. All right. Okay. I mean, the worth of this team has gone up, and McDavid has been a part of that.
I get it. And when I wake up in the morning, do I say, God, this is great, the Oilers are worth so much money? Or do I say, son of a, I'd like to win a cup before I die? Now, which one of those two you figure I say?
Well, I'm sure Daryl Cates is thinking the same thing.
I don't, the Oilers, I don't write that down. Daily diary. God, I'm happy today. The Oilers are worth so much. Doesn't go in the diary every day.
One final one. I've been thinking about this a lot, Steve, and I'm lingering, and I apologize we're going long, but
right.
I came to really appreciate Glenn Sather. He had fantastic clarity. He had an unbelievable ability to find the weakness on the team. I'm going to say before it happened, but maybe like right as it happened. And he had an aggressiveness about him. I would actually say not aggressiveness, more there was a restlessness about him when it came to the Edmonton Oilers. And I miss that because he not only had all of those things, but he was pretty creative in how he got deals done. And with due respect to Peter Chiarelli and Ken Holland and Stan Bowman, it's not at that level. Maybe it's harder to make deals or whatever now, and I'm being unfair. But I do miss the old days of Sather where he wouldn't take a wrecking ball. He would take, it would be more velvet than that. but he would change this roster in important and material ways.
As you know, I knew Glenn off the ice probably better than when he was behind the bench. I never met a smarter person than Glenn Sather. Not smart, math smart, people smart. And Glenn Sather, my God, I never saw him waffle on a decision on anything. Hey, Glenn, what do you want for dinner? Boom, he had an answer. Hey, Glenn, should Mike Krzyzewski be traded? Boom, he had an answer. He thought of it, I'm telling you, dude, 12 steps beyond where you and I would have thought of it. That alone made him a genius among his cohort of NHL general managers. There was nobody like him. There may be nobody like him again. But if you knew him just a little bit personally, you're like, wow, this guy is so confident. Overconfident? Yeah, probably. Did it hurt him? Not one bit.
Well, he won 5 Stanleys in 7 years, and we're still chasing that. Steve Lansky, thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Have a good weekend.
There you go. Bringing it today. Steve Lansky, that was a great conversation. Enjoyed it very much. You might not like what he said, but that's a little different than the conversation. He's not here to say, hi, can I take your order? Which, I mean, he wouldn't get it right anyway. I'm teasing. Great guy. Love him. He'll be back on Friday. More of your comments about what Steve said and the Oilers in general straight ahead. Lowdown with Lowetide brought to you by Wolf GMC Buick on Sports 1440 and YouTube.
60 years ago, we started selling trucks as Western GMC Buick. Today, we are Wolf GMC Buick. We're still located on the corner of 184th Street and Stony Plain Road with the same ownership for over 2 decades. Our customers have trusted our family-owned
So that's tough in terms of that momentum. You're not capitalizing on your chances.
Here come the Canes on a breakaway. Score! Nikolai Ehlers. Is that the dagger here in game 3?
And from the faceoff, right? This is a team. Look how quickly they are looking to go and get up the ice. And that's a great play by Martinook in the neutral zone to recognize where is this.
Caruso. Hits Wallace. Gilgis Alexander now against Kennard. His jump shot is good. Caruso. Harden. On the drive, dump off to Allen, made the catch. Toss out to Harden. Harden. Lost the handle. Scooped up by Thompson. Another Harden turnover. Jenkins is fouled. Just nowhere.
The Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440. Author, musical connoisseur, sports know-it-all. Yes, a man for all seasons.
Presented by Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
To you by Wolf GMC Buick. Check them out. WolfGMCBuick.com. Jason Krueger on the radio at 2 o'clock today. Getting ready for another big night in the National Hockey League playoffs. I find myself tuning out a little bit when the games get a little lopsided. The first round was must-watch television. Now I definitely checking out Montreal and Buffalo. It's a wonderful series. Colorado seems to have a real hold on theirs, and I'll watch Game 3, of course. And Carolina is just about done, and I think Colorado is strong. The Vegas series, Vegas Anaheim, along with Buffalo Montreal, are my favorites so far right now in the second round. What about you boys? Do you agree?
I'm really enjoying watching Colorado, Minnesota. That's been super fun. I mean, like they've all been good. Maybe I just hate the city of Philadelphia, but I love watching the Flyers get walked like this. That overtime was sick though. Like I'm really enjoying all of it. I want to see, I said it yesterday, I want to see that top line from Montreal produce more.
Yeah.
At 5-on-5 at least. But
Suzuki's doing great. I love him.
Yeah, and even then, like, man, did he ever luck out in Game 7 with that goal?
Yeah, you got to be good to be lucky.
Hey, lucky to be good to be lucky. You know what I'm saying?
All right. Trent says, Steve, he has a no-trade clause. That means he has that right to pick where he wants to go. Sure. I was talking in terms of, they've had 11 years. Obviously, it's been beneficial to the Edmonton Oilers. I think it's fair to talk about it because it might be a year away. It's a 2-year deal that kicks in this fall. And if the first year doesn't go well, Oilers have to get value for him. I think he'll end up signing another contract. That's my belief. But I don't know that. And we'll see how next year goes. I think there's a tremendous amount of import on next year. I wish, when I write for The Athletic or I write at lowtide.ca or I come on this show, I'm all about stories, right? So I always try to create something that is based in reality, but also involves a little bit of faith, hope, and dreaming. And so I sat down on my typewriter after they lost the first round, and I said, okay, what do they need? And I concluded that it was an impact goaltender, that all the other problems that they have could still be there. And if they added an impact goaltender, they could win the Stanley Cup. So then I said, all right, to myself, I said, self, go find the goalie. And I'm still looking. And so there are times in life where there's a great coach available, and there is right now. They could go get that guy today. Or there's times in life when there's a great, winger available, or a defenseman even, Chris Pronger, remember that. But a goalie who's available, who is truly a difference maker, they're extremely hard to find, depending upon the era. And this era, I mean, Bobrovsky's numbers weren't great, right? I wrote an article at The Athletic 2 days ago identifying 2 goaltenders that I thought could help and could be the most reliable available. But there's no Dominik Hasek 2000. There's no Bernie Parent 1975. There's no Patrick Waugh 1993. And that's kind of what they need. And you try to roll your own. They got a couple of guys in the minors who I like, but not at that level. So I think Stan Bowman's in a little bit of a tough spot here, and that's why I think it's okay to talk about McDavid next year being, talked about the way Austin Matthews is this year. I'm not trying to upset anybody, but I think part of what this show should do is to speak in real terms, and that is one of them.
See, if I'm allowed to interject.
Sure, I'm done.
Yeah, because you obviously touched on it. I wanted to bring that up. And I wanted to bring that up because you know what? It's a Friday in the off season. No one's listening. We're in the trust tree.
What are you talking about?
Hey, no one's listening. This is the trust tree. And I just want
listenership.
Well, I just want to know a thing or two.
Through the roof. Bowman is sitting there and he knows Cates is watching too.
Listen, we made this tree house plank by plank, and now we all sit up here in the trust tree. So I want to ask you guys a question. Wow. Now, Lowetide, to your credit, you actually already answered it in your monologue there. Because I wanted to ask, where's our head at 2 years from now? Where's our head and our heart at?
Well, I think 2 years from now, you hopefully have won a Stanley Cup and McDavid's re-signed. If not, then McDavid is, in New York.
Yeah, sorry. I'll get more because I asked that question, maybe the worst I've ever asked any question. In 2 years, do you think McDavid is still here? You think he still re-signs? Like, where's your guys' head at on him specifically at the end of his now very short, very cheap for him extension?
I think he'll be here, but I have the faith of a child.
I have a little touch more realistic faith. And again, you guys can call it Calgary bias, whatever. You say it to me on Twitter all the time. I do not have a lot of faith in this front office.
Yeah, Josh.
That's not what I said, though. I said I thought McDavid would be here in 2 years.
I know, but
I think Josh means
but
he
I do
doesn't
not
believe
have a
McDavid
lot
will
of
have
faith in this front office.
To keep McDavid happy.
To keep McDavid happy. I think, yeah, again, anything can happen. It's sports, all right? Anything can happen. But if I were a betting man, I would say things go wrong. And McDavid, we get down to the trade deadline. And he goes, guys, I don't think we got it this year.
So do you think they'll trade him at the trade deadline or in the summer?
I don't think it would be summer. I think it would be like maximize value now. Because other teams would know that.
You're just going to get picks, man.
What, do they have any picks?
No, but you're rebuilding. And that might
You
mean
have
losing.
Leon Draisaitl.
No. If you trade McDavid
You're
at the
getting-
deadline, you may end up trading Leon Draisaitl.
See,
in the
I
summer.
disagree with that, and that's something people bring up a lot. I don't think
this
so.
is a
I
Kachuk
think-
Gaudreau situation.
Yeah, I don't either. I think they stay. I think they stay the course with Draisaitl and say, okay, you know what? That's also a top 4 player in the world. That McDavid would be the best centerpiece to have. That's not a bad focal point either, though. Let's build around that. Now, would it be as good? Probably not. You're losing Connor McDavid, but it's
Even if you keep Leon, picks aren't going to help you for 3 years.
In theory, you get straight. Let's just play the makeup game here. Trade deadline 2020. This is 2028 now, right? In 27-28 season, that's the end of his
Oh,
extension.
so you're talking about trading him at the 27 deadline?
Yeah, not next year.
Oh,
not next
I'm
year.
sorry, I misunderstood you.
I'm giving them next year.
Okay,
but I'm sorry. I should have been more specific. I was thinking about the end of his deal.
Okay,
we get to that trade deadline, and he's like, "Guys, I don't think we have it." And they trade him away, and yeah, you get the boatload of picks from the Tampa Bay Lightning or the New York Rangers or whoever it is, because I don't think he's staying in the West. If you're the Oilers. Yeah. You do not want to trade him in the West.
He'll go to the Rangers.
Yeah, he'll go somewhere, right? Yeah. And they'll give you a boatload. Guess what? Turn around, trade him. You got all these picks now. You still have Leon Draisaitl, and now you're like, we just cleared up $12.5 million off our cap.
See, because
you might even be able to be like, here, we'll give you McDavid and his best friend Darnell Nurse.
Number one, if you looked at the free agent list, teams have money. They're not letting their best players get to free agency. Number two, you trade McDavid.
Can I ask
Who
a
did I
question
say is getting
about
to
that
free
after?
agency?
Pardon me?
I don't think I said anyone's getting to free agency.
Can I ask
No,
you a
but you
question
said you
about
can
that
spend the
after,
money, the
Lowetide?
12 point.
No. You have that cap space now.
To do what?
To accept a bigger contract. Because in theory,
Sounds a lot like Jimmy Carson is coming to town, man.
Yeah, but you clear up $12.5 million. What is the one thing that they don't have right now? Cap space. But you can go.
Yeah, I'm happy to pay the cap space if Connor McDavid's the one taking up the cap.
Yeah, except now, if you trade Connor McDavid, and let's say Darnell Nurse is still on contract with the Edmonton Oilers, you can be like, we're giving you Connor McDavid, but you have to take Darnell Nurse with zero retention.
But then
because you're getting Connor McDavid.
But now you're getting rid of the Nurse contract and using McDavid as a sweetener. I would riot if they did
you're
that.
not using Connor McDavid as the sweetener. You're getting you're trading Connor McDavid and you're going to get stuff. You're basically like, yeah, but because we're giving you Connor McDavid, you're going to have to do us this favor and take Darnell Nurse.
I respect you the hell out of you. I hate that idea.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's a bad idea. My thing, the question I was going to pose to you, Lowetide, and my thing is, I'm not saying I believe this, but I just wonder if McDavid feels like if he wins a cup in the next 2 years, he gets to say, hey, I won you guys a cup, I'm out.
If he wins, he's not leaving.
Or if he doesn't, okay, so fair. Maybe I'm wondering if he says, if I win you a cup in the next 2 years, hey, I won the cup, I've washed my hands, I'm going to leave now. Or he gets to have the other argument where he's like, hey, we didn't win a cup in these 2 years, I'm going to go chase a cup. Now, the question I was going to ask you is, because you talk about trading him at the deadline 2 seasons from now, if he says he wants out. I would stay the course with him and just say, hey, listen, we're not going to trade you, and we're going to go all in on that season to try and win a
It depends on
cup.
where they are, right? Yeah. Like if they're, if they have a shot, they're not trading him, because they, in their heart of hearts, they probably, if they win the Stanley, maybe he'll sign here.
I mean, this is also the most I've ever hoped people know it's down to first Josh.
Yeah. That was Declan being positive, and that was Josh being negative.
And I even sprinkled some negativity in.
Yeah,
No,
but
but
primarily that's what the two arguments were.
The issue I have with all of this is that I think that the pressure point isn't the deadline in 2028. The pressure point is next summer. And if you are, because this is a business, and if you're Daryl Cates and you have to maximize Connor McDavid's return, then you would be doing it next summer. You would be. And you might let teams talk to Connor McDavid about an extension, and then you might extract actual NHL players. If you do it at the deadline, you're just getting picks and guys that they don't want. And I think that would be, for the organization, I think that would be impossible for the fan base to swallow.
I just think next summer seems a little too
that seems too early.
I agree. I think it would have to be not the next deadline, but the deadline after.
If you get to next summer and you say to Connor McDavid, can we talk about an extension? And he says, well, boys, I want to wait a year. Then you are going to lose an extremely valuable asset. And it is nobody like the Wayne Gretzky trade. Nobody. They won 2 years later, but you have to get NHL players back.
Completely agree. You cannot make a deadline move for him and get picks back. No way.
Well, there's who on God's earth is trying to win the Stanley Cup, and you're going to go, well, we're giving you McDavid, but we want, your best player.
We want Brandon Hagel.
That is absolutely the other half of the argument.
It's 100%.
That's why you do it in the summer.
Or could you imagine if you got traded to Colorado? They're like, just give us all your
centers. That would be really bad for his
The reason it'll be the Rangers is the Rangers have just no brain parts when it comes to this stuff.
Here's the problem with the Rangers is they're rebuilding right now.
He also kind of feels New York Rangers-esque. You know what I mean?
Since I was a kid, the Rangers would go to the Rangers. When I was a kid, the Rangers would you were never out of the league until the Rangers traded for you. Bernie Geoffrion, every guy who Phil Esposito, every guy who was just beyond the peak, they'd pay full torque for him every time. Rangers have always done that. That's what they are, because they're the Big Apple, they're New York, and he would be going there, in my opinion. Now, he may want to sign elsewhere, and that will impact. Fans might have to deal with the fact that he might want to sign with Toronto.
Oh, no. I don't like that at all. But I think you're actually there is something to be said for being from there, and that being the team you grew up watching, being a fan of, and you can go there and be the savior. There's something to be said for that.
But also, if he goes there and he doesn't win,
well, but I mean that's it's so messy when you start talking about this, and people get mad, and I get it, and I understand. But folks, we're a year away from it possibly happening, so I think it's okay to talk about it.
Like McDavid is going to the Kings or Toronto.
What about next July?
He's not going to the Kings. Who said that?
Next July 10th. It's McDavid for McKenna and a pick. There you go. All right. We'll take a break and talk about this and more on the way. Lowdown with Lowetide, brought to you by Wolf GMC Buick on Sports 1440 and YouTube.
Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique, family-owned, independent liquor store. The selection? Incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. Wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com.
Your protein drink should work as hard as you do. That's why Booster Juice is hitting the gym harder than ever, brother. Meet your new gym buddies, the Way Too Good and Green Gains Booster Mixers. 2 new ripped and refreshing menu options that bench some serious protein. Perfect for pre or post-workout. Way Too Good and Green Gains Booster Mixers taste like motivation. So what are you waiting for? Let's go!
Booster Juice. Canadian born, blending since 1999.
Silent Rides is one of Alberta's premier specialty charter companies. With our luxury motor coaches, we provide our customers with the safest and most reliable ground transportation services. Our seatbelt equipped, top-of-the-line motor coaches have become the preferred carrier for many local sports teams, tours, corporate outings, and other various travel needs across Western Canada. For more information and to request a quote, contact sales at 877-748-0991 or visit silentrides.ca.
Shoulder pain. It can make even the simplest things like reaching up, lifting a bag, brushing your teeth, or sleeping frustrating. Rotator cuff strains, impingement, arthritis, they're some of the most common issues we treat every day. I'm Grant Fedoruk, and at Leading Edge Physio, our team brings postgraduate training, evidence-based technology, and just the right amount of humor and humility to help you feel better. Because we never forget the most important part, the gratitude we feel for every patient who allows us the opportunity to care for them. Because life shouldn't hurt. When it does, leadingedgephysio.com.
The longest running basketball show in Canada airs every Saturday morning at 10 on Sports 1440. Hoop City with Paul Sir introduces a new generation of basketball talk, and it's right here on Edmonton's home for sports, Sports 1440.
Mr. Rooter gets attacked by a Canada goose.
Oh, look at that. Another on-time arrival. Nothing stops Mr. Rooter from plumbing on schedule. You gotta be kidding me. Hello, Mr. Goose. I'm Mr. Rooter. Okay, this is what you train for. Through rain, sleet, or goose, the pipes get fixed.
For a plumber who does whatever it takes, Mr. Rooter.
Getting your vehicle sparkling clean doesn't have to cost a fortune. Take it into Hughes today and pay just loonies a wash.
Find us at HughesCarWash.com.
I'm Rick Showers from No Bull RV, and I want to give you something for free. A free roof assessment on your used RV. And remember, basically every RV is a used RV.
What do I get for my free roof assessment, Rick?
Well, Bob, we're going to climb up on top of your RV and take a good detailed look at your roof. Check all the joints, connections, and seals. Then we'll give you a written report so you know exactly what's going on up there. You should do this at least twice a year.
You're just doing this out of the goodness of your heart, Rick?
Cards on the table, Bob. About 1 in 10 RVs we see have something wrong with the roof. If yours is one of them, then yes, we're going to offer to sell you a repair. But we'd rather do a small repair when your leak is small than sell you a big, expensive repair when it's so bad you can see it from the inside. And you don't have to accept our offer to fix it. It really is free either way. So come by No Bull RV and know for sure.
And that's No Bull. NoBullRV.ca.
Here's the Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440.
Presented by Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
It's the Lowdown on Sports 1440 for Wolf GMC Buick. Check it out, wolfgmcbuick.com. Friday, into our final segment, Jason Krueger will hit the radio at 2 o'clock today. Greg from Lacombe says, Toronto media must be listening to the Lowetide show. All I heard from the center of Canada on Wednesday and Thursday was that McDavid will want to pick Toronto so he can play Gavin McKenna and Austin Matthews. Say it ain't so. Greg from Lacombe. No, what I said was I hope and believe that he will sign here. I have the faith of a child, but I think that it is appropriate. We're 2 years away. Next year may be a pressure point to start discussing it. So I think all of those things are fair. And, you have to make a decision as a broadcaster whether or not you'll bring up a subject that is uncomfortable for listeners. And I've refrained from doing that through 11 years. But I think in fairness, when we talk about the contract that he signed the 2-year deal. You can say he did that to help with the cap, but you could also say he did that as a fair warning that this team was getting older and he had concerns about their ability to be competitive. 1 year later, they lose in the first round, and we are here. This isn't not me being provocative. I think this is me reasonably reading the situation and talking about it in an adult way. If you disagree, that's fine, but that is my process, and I think I've been pretty clear on it.
And I would like to put something out to the listeners, to the text line, if you will. I was hoping we could get your thoughts on, like, your honest, unbiased thoughts, not what you want to happen, not some crazy trade scenario. Just, do you think McDavid will, like, your honest heart and brain feelings of, will McDavid be here at the end of his 2-year extension? Because I'm genuinely curious, because there's a lot of like, yeah, obviously I hope so, but I don't know. Like, I'm genuinely curious on what Oiler fans think, if he will or will not be here at the end of this 2-year extension.
Shout out 31 says, I love McDavid, but as a business, you have to maximize your asset. And at the end of the day, that is what hockey players are. You have to trade them in the summer because anyone going for the cup will not trade their best player. It's true. You know, the Oilers have a bit of if they don't make more Tristan Jarry trades, they have a bit of an opportunity here to possibly take on 2 larger deals next summer as part of a package for Connor McDavid. Now, I'm not saying that will happen. I suspect the trade will look a lot like similar trades in the past, which is you're going to get one not quite McDavid and then a bunch of other little pieces that could turn into something. And that's when you need great scouting and great pro scouting. And we'll see, you know, I remember the Pronger trade. You know, that was a bone of contention. They got what? Lupul, Smeed, and some picks. It was a significant return. Lupul was a pure scorer. Smeed emerged as he was young, but he emerged as a bona fide, legit NHL defenseman. And the picks turned into, I believe, Jordan Eberle and some others. So it wasn't like it was a nothing trade, but it set back the time. You've just been to the Stanley Cup, and now you're rebuilding. And I suspect that Daryl Cates will want to avoid that should it come to pass. Nick says, I strongly believe we have too many holes to fill, and the number one concern year after year is goaltending, and we won't even get into all the other issues. I think Connor will be gone after 2 years. I really hope he'll stay, but if I'm being honest, I don't think he's staying. Otherwise, I think he would have stayed for longer than 2 years from Nick. I agree with that. I think the 2-year contract was a harbinger. Is that a good word to use? I think so. Harbinger. And we'll see. You know, I mean, I think McDavid's been pretty straight up with everybody. He seems like a very sincere fellow. He says what he means, and he means what he says. And, you know, we've got 2 more years or 1, and we'll see how it goes. Good players get traded for good players on good teams all the time. Rantanen for Nikash. Every owner would want McDavid, even if they have to give up multiple stars, because he would fill their buildings. North fan, Oilers fan. Sure, but at the deadline, when you want McDavid to win a Stanley Cup, are you going to give up your best player on your roster? I don't think so. I don't think that would be reasonable. I don't think, the owner of the team, and also you're probably, if you're going to trade for Connor McDavid, you're the team that trades for him probably wants to have a contract signed, right? So that would be a summertime kind of a deal. Either way, we don't have to talk about it right now. We can look forward to the summer. I would ask one question. If you want to answer it, I will read about it on the text line. Do you think Stan Bowman is the person to trade this player?
No. I don't think Bowman's here at the end of the summer.
That's a heck of a question.
Well, I mean,
I would say no.
Yeah. Then why are you entrusting him with this summer then?
I'm not. I think he should be done. I'm with everybody else. If there's going to be change, there's going to be a lot of change.
So you think GM, coach, they're all gone in the next few days?
Maybe not the next few days, but I would be surprised if one of, if not both, were still employed by free agency.
Let me ask you a follow-up.
Sure.
Let's say you fire Bowman and the coaching staff next Thursday.
Sure.
You have a draft to go through and free agency to go through. And everybody is tied down who might be a managerial candidate for you. Who are you going to entrust the draft and the free agency to? Not Jackson.
Congrats, Paul Coffey.
It's a fair question, too. And then you're like, wow, does it fall on Jackson's shoulders?
No.
Right?
I don't think it would.
Right? So
I mean, there's Keith Gretzky.
And I don't think a lot of people are overly happy with Keith Gretzky and what he's done as AGM.
Well, I think that's what I'm saying is I think that to Josh's point, if I'm Kate's and I'm going to move, I might as well, if you're going to start moving out, the lawn chairs and replacing, some of the pieces on the deck, maybe you move out all the patio furniture.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe you repaint the deck and you do all of this is the time to evaluate it.
But
the longer we hear nothing, the more, people talk.
Well, Josh said Jim Nill was on the hot seat and they lost in the first round. So maybe we can scoop him from Dallas.
I just needed to find a way to put Dallas in there. Upon reflection, it was a poor addition. Also, I'm sorry to Rod the Bod. My apologies. But he's still.
What did you do?
When we did declinations, what was this? 3 weeks ago? 2 weeks ago? Whatever.
You did what?
When we were talking about who's on the hot seat with the playoffs.
Your first two were Jim Nill and Rod Brindamore.
Well, Rod Brindamore was my 5. I just wanted to figure out a way to put the stars in, and I was like, Jim Nill. That's my bad. That's my apologies. No disrespect to Jim Nill. I still do, like, Rod the Bod's got to go to the finals this year. I think his seat's a little warm. I know they love him over there. I saw the thing of the 94 Carolina Hurricanes playoff wins. He has been either a player or a coach for 92 of them.
Yeah, something like that. I think it was 94, 96, but you're right about the rest of it. McDavid would cost some team 2 or 3 best players. We don't need picks. We need players. Jeff, that's why you make the deal in the summer. Having said that, this summer is all about making the Oilers better and trying to win a Stanley Cup. And remember, they were Game 7 and then Game 6. So there's a lot of talent here. And, among the things that the owner's probably not happy about is you didn't get very much playoff revenue this year. They'll want to recoup that next year, one would assume. Rockford says, Kevin Lowe would be my choice. He loves the team like one of his own children. I don't know if Lowe would come back into it. It's been a while since he was near anything, right? Like, it's been a while for Kevin Lowe. But I agree with you about, bleeding copper and blue. Connor stays if the Oilers push for another cup in the next 2 years, being third round or finals. History has taught us anything past round 3 boils down to momentum, injuries, some puck luck, and experience. Rob, I agree with all of that. But having said that, I think that this is an appropriate time to start talking about that and to contemplate what the future may hold. And Connor McDavid has invested 11 years into this city, into the fan base, and he has worked hard every night I've ever seen him. So players negotiate contracts. Players have opportunities during the contract's expiration to think about their own lives and their own careers. And remember, he's a young man who's married now. So things change as time goes on. So we'll see. But I think it's appropriate for us to talk about it and to contemplate. All right. On the way, Jason Gregor will be talking about last night's playoff games, tonight's, and of course, the subject of the day, the Edmonton Oilers, and what's going to happen to the management, coaching staff, players. It's going to be a wild summer. Prepare for wild and big noises. Thanks for tuning into the Lowdown. Please enjoy your weekend.
This is the Sports 1440 update.
Brought to you by Sean Cunningham of Remax Real Estate. Get the home team advantage for your next move in the Edmonton or area. If you're thinking about buying or selling a home, you can call and text Sean directly, 780-265-0165. That's 780-265-0165. Hard finalists announced. Nathan McKinnon, Connor McDavid, and Nikita Kucherov are the finalists in the NFL, and the refs have agreed on a 7-year CBA, avoiding a potential work stoppage heading into the season. In the NHL tonight, Montreal and Buffalo in Game 2 of their series, 5 p.m. puck drop in Vegas, Anaheim in game 3 of their series. That series tied 1-1. Puck drop at 7:30. NBA 2 games, New York and Philadelphia at 5 and San Antonio, Minnesota at 7:30. And in the MLB, the Toronto Blue Jays will be in action. 5:07 first pitch against the Angels. Dylan Cease on the bump in that one, and the Jays playing host. Astros and Reds will start the day's action at 4:10, and the Rockies Phillies up after that at 4:40. I'm Declan Krueger. This has been a Sports 1440 update.